Well, like I was talking about at the top of the program today, I witnessed yesterday as a star was born, Karoline Leavitt. 27 years old, youngest person to do that job, man. She sat in there like an old pro, taking all questions and all comers. And one of the questions that came up was about bird flu. And she answered that swiftly and effectively, saying, well, we wouldn't have a problem with egg prices if the government hadn't killed 20 million birds. I'm going to see where she goes with all of this because there's so much happening. We left the World Health Organization. You've got people pushing the idea of pandemics every day, and Karoline Leavitt stood in there like a pro. Joining me now is Peter McCullough, the doctor from the Wellness Company, the chief scientific officer there. Doctor, good morning. Good to have you back on the program.
Thank you.
I don't know if you caught Karoline Leavitt, but I thought she was masterful up there, shutting them down when it came to bird flu and the idea that egg prices are out of control. And she said, that's not our fault. It's the Biden administration's fault. Right out of the chute, she nailed them, didn't she?
She did. She gave me renewed confidence in Gen Z. I thought that was the most impressive White House press conference I've ever seen. 27 years old.
Yeah.
Her alacrity of moving through these topics, no notes, and just hit every point. And she's the first from any U.S. government official to recognize that 100 million healthy chicken have been culled or intentionally killed without being used for food in this ludicrous biosecurity measures taken by the government for bird flu because the mailer ducks keep reinfecting the farms. There were a few shows later on that said, well, the government has to do this to eradicate bird flu. They're completely wrong. We need to allow natural immunity set in.
Right. We don't kill people for having the flu last time I checked, doctor. Why are we eradicating 100 million chickens? Because you pointed it out. The ducks are an animal reservoir of the virus. That's how it works, and so it re-spreads and reinfects. It's a cycle that happens. We don't kill people for getting the flu. Why would you eradicate your chicken population?
You're right. We don't sacrifice the healthy in any of these pandemic response measures. And it needs to stop now. The price of chickens and eggs is skyrocketing unnecessarily so. And we need to stop the farmer subsidies. The farmers are getting money to do this from the government. If they do that, the farmers wouldn't ruin their supply chain.
Right. They get compensated for destroying their flocks. And that's been a government problem for a long time. Let's talk about Robert F. Kennedy Jr. He'll be in the hot seat today on Capitol Hill, doctor. He's going to be taking slings and arrows from people that are going to attack him over his position on COVID and vaccines and so much more. What do you expect?
He's taking arrows from his own family members. Caroline Kennedy, one of his cousins, made a statement attacking him. And you can see that even his family members have been co-opted by Big Pharma. We have Bernie Sanders held a vaccine promotion panel in the Senate a few days ahead of time to get his talking points. And he was saying that America is going to go back to childhood mortality approaching 20%, which is what it was at the turn of the 19th century to the 20th century. You can see the extreme nature of the interventions that those who are trying to foil Kennedy's nomination, how far they will go.
Powerful lobbyists, doctor, powerful lobbyists work on Capitol Hill every day. None more powerful than those that work for the big pharma lobbies, and they are showing it every day. They're flexing their muscle. They have so much money they inject into the system that people like Bernie Sanders and others will stand up and say things that are completely outrageous. That's what you're telling me.
For sure, and even foundations like the Gates Foundation. Turns out that Gates Foundation had a completely fabricated list of doctors that apparently were said to be opposing RFK's nomination. That was shown to be completely untrue. So it's big pharma, big food, the philanthrocapitalists like the Gates Foundation, and all of those co-opted by these special interests, including Bernie Sanders and Mitch McConnell and a whole variety of senators on both the right and left.
Yeah, they had this list. They had this list of so-called doctors, 17,000 they claimed on this list. But what we found out is you could jump on there and sign in yourself. I could have signed in as Dr. Seuss and been one of these 17,000 doctors. It was a complete It was a complete joke. Let me ask you about this. I've also been reading about this. I want your scientific take on long COVID. It's still here for a lot of people, whether they took the vaccine or they were infected with the virus. Long COVID persists, and they're still suffering from it. Why is that? Is there anything that can be done to help these people?
The reason why long COVID persists, Steve, is the spike protein, the spine on the surface of the virus, this little spike here. It stays in the body after the infection, and it's loaded in the body after the vaccine. It stays in the body for months to years afterwards. And that's the reason why Ultimate Spike Detox from the Wellness Company is so important, to help the body manage this and get rid of it so the syndrome of long COVID can be cleared.
And we're going to get to something that can help that potentially, the spike protein formula from the Wellness Company, in just a moment. But I just want to ask you, it's been a very brisk pace, to say the least, of the Trump administration, out of the World Health Organization. Karoline Leavitt taking the stage like a rock star that she's proven to be already. You've got Robert F. Kennedy Jr. in the hot seat today. All of these things are happening almost at the same time. They're all very important for the future health of America, aren't they?
They are. It's like shock and awe. You know, we're up to 300 executive orders. The whole world is reeling, exiting the WHO, which is going to not only save about $6.8 billion US dollars, but get us out of the threat of coming under WHO authoritarian control with their quest to have dominion over all plants, animals, and humans. We're out of that now. Wonderful. But I have to believe that people on Capitol Hill right now are, in a sense, they feel like they are in a state of shock and awe. Remember, the employees have all been called back to the office. They've been told to get back to work. Now we're hearing about people basically being terminated or having buyouts. There is an incredible government shakeup, really, that we haven't seen like this in decades.
Yeah, they've been offered a buyout. You can come back to work, or we'll buy you out for the next 8 months and you can go on your merry way. Look, it is a huge shakeup. There's no question about it. There's a change everywhere. I'd like to tell folks about the Wellness Company, because I want you to tell them about the spike protein supplement that you have. The best there is if you have long COVID, if you had the vaccine, if you had the illness at some point, maybe more than once. This is something that can certainly help people, lots of people.
For sure. The spike protein, again, this is the spine on the surface of the virus. It's stuck in the human body in virtually everyone who's had COVID, for sure everyone who took the vaccine. The body needs assistance in getting it out. Ultimate Spike Detox with nattokinase, bromelain, and curcumin, and several minor ingredients is the best evidence-based approach to clear the spike protein out of the body. It's taken for about a year, and if well tolerated, continued beyond that. It's medicinal grade, high quality, the best sourced product in its class to do this. Very important. There's some assistive supplements, including Mind Lift for brain fog, elevated energy for the fatigue, and heart support to protect the heart during this process of self-managing one out of the long COVID syndrome.
Dr. Peter McCullough, thank you as always, sir.
Thank you.
TWC.health/Gruber. You can find out more. TWC.health/Gruber. Find out more. Save 10% with that promo code. TWC.health/Gruber.